Hey guys, my name is Ryan Central and welcome back to some more Anthem news. Today we're going to be doing a roundup of all of the news that's hit us over the last 10 days or so, and also looking of course at the Ask Me Anything questions that were answered this week from Mac Dara, Jonathan Warner and the rest of the BioWare developers. Before we get onto that though, I do want to go over the main news I suppose of this week, that is Anthem hits alpha, and I kind of want to talk about what that may mean, because effectively for a lot of us it means diddly squat. Last week, the Anthem team passed its alpha milestone, meaning that every part of the game is in and functioning. It's a ton of fun to play and all full of engaging characters, moments and storylines. But it's also exciting to see people around the office and at our partner studios grouping together for adventures in this new world that we've created. It's a very heartfelt piece coming out of Casey Hudson about this milestone that Anthem's development has hit, but it has raised a lot of concerns, I suppose, in the community. This game has just gone into alpha when it's 5 months out of launch. Isn't that cutting it a bit too close? But it seems the way that BioWare define alpha might be a little bit more loose than you may have thought. Alpha is all about the testing that really happens behind closed doors with the developers. This seems that it's a lot further on than people may think. As Casey said, every part of the game is in and functioning. The prototype of the full game has been put together. Of course, when it comes to major concerns and interest in this development, the main question is always going to be, how the hell do I get involved? This was brought up on Twitter with the stuff that we covered last week with all of the trials, week early access and the demos, depending on whether you pre-order, have EA membership access, etc, etc. But Michael Gamble on that, and this is very important to the alpha, is that we're going to be doing some tests. How wide we go and when is to be decided. The size of whatever alpha or beta this is going to have for Anthem is still up in the air. If you want a good gauge on how it will work, for example how Blizzard approach their alphas and betas will be very, very different from what EA do, it's better to look at stuff like Battlefield 5 and how they approached doing open betas there, because I feel like it's going to be closer to that than say Overwatch's closed beta, opening up beta now and again. So that's why this news about the alpha starting really doesn't hold any semblance to any of us right now. That of course will change in the future. Now let's go over some of the comments that we got from general questions that were asked on Twitter to Jonathan Warner, Michael Gamble and Mac Dara. First of which was a question asking if the javelins are eco-friendly, hashtag save the trees. Jonathan Warner says 100%. Another topic that we discussed in other videos is the idea of buffing and healing other players. This was asked to Jonathan again, basically asking for a little bit more information. He says it's not as straightforward as you might think, but when you've fallen in the thick of battle, it's hard to beat the Colossus's ability to wade into the chaos and save you. I like the general theme that we're seeing out of the developers talking about how difficult and how insane strongholds and missions can be when you up the difficulty. This was brought up a couple of weeks ago, saying that they had a crazy mission and the use of a Storm's ultimate was the thing that made the difference between them winning and losing. And that excites me because everything that we've seen of Anthem so far looks like it's going to be really, really straightforward tank and spank, but that just isn't the case. Mac Dara gets asked, are pre-order skins exclusive to the pre-order? He says yes. Another question was, my boys and I are curious about something, will you be able to have multiple characters on a single account for Anthem? And Mac Dara also says yes. Now this is interesting when we go over stuff that we've covered already. From what we understood before, you would have one character that would have multiple javelins, and you would play through that story. You would have a general level that your character would have, but your javelins would be based on the gear level, for example. But this looks like you can have multiple characters too, so maybe you can play through the story. I'm not sure why you'd want to start up a new character to play through the story again, but I guess the option is there if you want it. Speaking of levels, we spoke about this a lot in the gears and leveling, everything that you need to know video. A thing that sort of maybe tripped up a lot of people was the idea of the max level being level 30. However, people in the comments and also on Twitter and Reddit pointed out that there is some gameplay from E3 2017 that have characters up to level 36. So therefore, I was wrong in that, and I don't necessarily feel that's fair. This gameplay is almost a year and a half old, and a lot of the UI and stuff within Anthem has changed a lot. And realistically, it doesn't matter. As somebody highlighted on Reddit, you could have the max level be level 10, level 50, or level 100, but they could all take as long to actually grind and get up there. So it was more that people assumed that it would be level 30 because it's endgame content, but endgame content doesn't necessarily mean max level. It could just mean you're getting towards it. If I was to have a guess, it would be level 30 or level 50, but right now it just doesn't matter. Another thing that we learned is that there will be health pickups in the game. Will we be able to give health to teammates? And Mac Dara says not at the moment. So the idea of a healing support character isn't really a thing, so that's been dispelled. We brought this up with the Storm being able to heal, but it seems that it's more just about shielding, mitigating and protecting your teammate with the barriers that you can form, kind of like Zarya in Overwatch, to be honest. So you can't physically give health to a teammate. So that myth, I suppose, is done and dusted. We spoke about the demos before. There is a 10-hour demo that players that have EA and Origin membership can get for 10 hours. Mark Dara clearly states that it's 10 hours per account. So if you do have Origin and EA membership, you can play this game on the 15th for 10 hours per account. Regarding customization, will we be able to customize the colors of our Javelin as soon as we get them? And when we are able to customize, will we be able to customize any colors we want? Mac basically says yes, but you have to get out of the tutorial for the Ranger. And he also went on to say that this would be a couple of missions, but they're still working out how long that would take. A lot of speculation gone into what that mission would entail. You're apparently out with Haluk. We know that he gets injured on a mission, so you might get his Javelin from then on out, and that might be the story. Can a Javelin take enough damage to force the pilot to eject whilst out in the overworld? Jonathan Warner says no, pilot health and Javelin health are linked, so basically no divas in the Anthem universe. Finally, just to reiterate some important things about the demo that will be happening on the 1st of Feb. It's not the beta, there will be something before then from the looks of it, and also any form of progress doesn't carry over from the demo on the 1st to the launch of the game, whenever that might be for you. There's not been a lot of news, I'll be frank. It's been very difficult to sort of bring up stuff that I find is really interesting and worth your time, but there is little bits in there, and eventually we're going to start heating up towards the launch of the game. But right now, it's just little questions that have probably been asked about 100 times already to Mac Dara. God bless him for still answering some of these. But that is everything that I felt was worth highlighting. Thank you very much for watching. More news to come, more Anthem content too, so do like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.